Hello everyone, my name is Laura, I love to crochet, and it's the final what I made of the year! Yay! So exciting. But I wanted to share everything that I've made in October, November, and December with you. And if you haven't seen, I've been doing these kind of quarterly wrap-ups all year. I put them all in a playlist, so if you want to binge them all together, you can. I'll link a little card for it up here so that you can check it out. But it's the final one, the last one of the year. So really excited to take you through what I've made in the past 3 months. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of Christmas presents found their way in here too. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about what I've made, what I've learned, and share some projects with you. Okay, I'm trying to keep this in chronological order, but I'm not 100% sure. The first piece that I have in front of me is this granny square sweater that I made. I made this one for my granny square sweater tutorial video, and I really like the way that this one turned out. It is a sweater that I've made multiple times, and it's fun to have a pattern that you can just go back to, tweak things like the colors, the fit, the hook size, whatever that is, and play around with the way that it looks. But this one I just did on an off-white base, and then I did kind of this like funky color palette, a little bit bold and out there, but I really like the way that all of the colors came together. And this was made all using loops and threads, mostly soft classic acrylic, and then some impeccable acrylic as well. So just a nice kind of pop of color, a really easy sweater to throw on, and like I said, a pattern that I've made a bunch of times. And it was so fun to share that pattern with all of you and to see the responses on that video. I was really excited that you guys were just as excited as me to try the video, learn how to make the sweater. So yeah, really enjoyed making this one. Then continuing on with the granny square sweater kick, I made this one. This is black and white granny squares that I made out of wool. And I was planning to make a video about how to make this sweater as well, but it's one where I don't know how to gauge the size up or down, and I don't want to put out a pattern for a sweater that only can be made in my size, so I'm still working through this. But I really like the way that this sweater turned out. I do think it's one of my standout pieces of the year. I just think it looks really clean and professional. I think it was so tedious. I made a million granny squares. I'll have to tally it up. I'm almost certain it was like in the 70s for how many squares I made, and worked with a really kind of fine weight of wool, so it took a long time. But I love the way that this looks. I think it's so show-stopping. It's really special. I think the fit on myself is really nice as well, and the wool makes it really comfortable to wear. It's warm when it needs to be warm, it's breathable when it needs to be breathable, and I'm just so happy with the way it turned out. It was definitely a labor of love, and there was lots of times where I like started this, put it down, started it again. I'm sure it took probably like somewhere in the ballpark of 60 hours probably to finish this one all up, but I think it was worth every single hour that I put into it, and it's so special, and it's one of those sweaters that I'm going to keep forever and ever, so I'm really pleased with that piece. Then the final sweater that I made this year is this blue Raglan sweater. This one, really simple, just a top-down Raglan. I used the exact same technique that I used in my rainbow Raglan sweater, so I'll link that so that you can check that out. But just worked it top down and added these matching buttons. I really love that the buttons are the exact same tone as the yarn. I think it gives it like an elevated kind of feel. And it's another piece that I've worn a ton since I made it. This one I made out of a cashmere Aran yarn. Definitely also the most expensive sweater I think I've ever made. But I really think it was worth investing in a high quality yarn for this piece because I wear it all the time. And again, I find it really nice for this weather. When it's cold, it keeps me nice and warm. It's not so warm and hot and sweaty like a synthetic fiber might be. So I really like wearing this, it's really comfortable, and it has such a nice drape to it as well because of the fiber that I picked. So yeah, this one's definitely another favorite, and I just think that this color is so fun and unique as well. So really pleased with the way that that one came out. Then I think let's move into accessories. So this quarter was when I started learning how to knit, and the first thing that I ever knit was this beanie. This is using the Passionate Kelsey Chunky Beanie tutorial. I will link that. As a beginner, I found it really easy to follow, and I used a big chunky yarn so that it worked up quickly, so that I could like see my stitches more easily. And I really like the way it turned out. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it just, like, it fits so nicely. It keeps me nice and warm. I really like this yarn as well. This is Barocco Cocoa yarn in the color Tundra. I believe it's discontinued, but I'll put some similar options down below. But I really like the way that this turned out, and it finally proved to me that knitting isn't so scary, and kind of opened the doors into knitting for me as well. So happy with the way that this one turned out. In the same vein, I made another one of those beanies. This one is just using an acrylic yarn, and the same pattern, just with a different needle size and a different yarn size. And this one is going to be a gift, but really liked how that one turned out as well. And then the last hat that I made is my Star Fisherman beanie. I love this one. I know it's kind of not for everyone, but I love the colors. I loved working up the star granny squares. I think they're so fun. Every single time I leave my house in this hat, someone stops me and is like, I love that hat. So definitely kind of a fun, funky piece that starts a conversation. I also have a video tutorial on how to make this on my channel. I'll link it so that you can check it out. But I love this, and it's also so functional. I live somewhere cold and I wear it all the time, so really liked this. And it was so fun just to play with color and do something a little bit more bold and a little bit more fun. And I still want to make some matching fingerless gloves or like mittens to wear with this, like, and do kind of stars on the palms or something, so that it's a full set. So stay tuned for that. And then speaking of gloves, I also made these fingerless gloves for a Christmas gift. So there is a moon and a star, or on the other way, star and a moon, and they just kind of slip on like this. And I really like the way that it looks, having like one motif on each side, and using the blue to kind of create the like starry nighttime sky effect. I love fingerless gloves because I can still use my phone when I wear them, but I really like the way that these came out, and they're so quick and easy. I also kind of talk about the process of making these in my everything that I made for Christmas video, so if you'd like some more details on these, I talk about it more in that video as well. But then speaking of stars, because I am still obsessed with stars, I started dabbling in making keychains. And I know keychains and bag charms are huge right now, and I want to get into making more bag charms. But I made this star keychain that lives on my keys, and I just think it's so cute. It was super easy, really simple. It takes like 10 minutes. I will link the creator whose little star pattern I followed, and then I just got a bunch of key rings and joins on Amazon. I'll link that as well if you'd like to get some key rings, and they're just blank, and then you kind of put the little join on your project. And I have probably 50 of them, so I'm gonna be making a lot of keychains. But it's a good one for a quick little gift if you're meeting up with someone. You can make these in all types of colors, and I just think it's so cute and fun on the keys, so I made one of those. And then this quarter as well, I made my first amigurumi project. Like years ago when I first started doing crochet, I tried to make an amigurumi pumpkin and it went really badly, so I was scared to try it ever since. but this one was for a Christmas present and I thought it was just so perfect that I needed to make it. So I made this little apple with his little sassy face. Again, I'll link the pattern for this one. It's a free pattern that I found on Pinterest, but it's just a little guy. And it really helped cure my amigurumi fear. It was not that hard. It worked up really quickly. The hardest part, I think, is embroidering the face, but I love the way that turned out, and it gives it so much personality, and everyone that I've showed this little guy to is obsessed. So definitely worth it. This one I just made out of a thin cotton yarn like you usually do for amigurumi, and I am in love with him and I don't really want to give him away, but I will. But I think I'm going to make like a whole family of fruit friends, so like an apple, an orange, different kind of, maybe a green apple, and have them all sit on a shelf. So that's my plan with this. But I'm glad that I kind of got over a little bit of the amigurumi fear this year, and maybe I'll be able to bring that into next year and make a couple more projects like that as well. And then back to knitting, I made the internet famous Sophie Scarf. This was like the third thing maybe that I've ever knit, and it was definitely more difficult than the beanie, but it was a really good way to learn about increases and decreases with knitting, because you do quite a few increases and quite a few decreases. And I really was happy with the way that this worked up. I also think it's such a practical make. It's perfect for the colder weather. You could also wear it looser for warmer weather. And I just think it turned out exactly like I was hoping for. This one I made in a acrylic and mohair blend, and I think the mohair gives it a really nice fluffiness, and gives it more of like a wintry feel than maybe if you were to make this out of something like a cotton. And I want to make a bunch more of these. I already started on another one pretty much the minute I finished this one, because they're just the perfect like sitting and watching TV craft. You don't really have to pay attention. It comes together fairly quickly. And I was just so happy to successfully knit something that I was really excited about. So this one will be going as a gift, but I am making one for myself as well. And then I made this neck warmer, which is another gift. My brother had specifically asked for one of these because he bikes a lot in the winter and wanted something that was going to keep his face warm while he was doing that. So I made this one up for him. It's just a bunch of half double crochets. I wanted a stitch that was going to be quite dense so that it keeps his face nice and warm. He's a vegan, so I made this one out of acrylic, so not quite as warm as wool, but I think it will do the job. And yeah, just a very simple neck warmer. We're getting down to the end. I only have 2 more projects to go, and they're both blankets. So this first one, also made as a gift. This one is for my parents, and I actually think it's going to hang on their wall. So that's why it's a little bit smaller than your traditional blanket, but it was just using these kind of like mid-century colors. That's kind of the color palette that they have in their house. And it was using the circles and squares pattern on Yarnspirations. I'll link that as well. It's free and really easy to follow. And you really just need to be able to make like a solid square, the circular square, and then there's like a half circle square. And if you can do that, you can put this blanket together, and I think it looks really kind of like modern and fresh and not as like dated as some granny square blankets can look. And you can really play around with the color palette as well. So that is that blanket. And then I liked that blanket so much that I decided to make one for myself. This one is quite a bit bigger, still not as big as I would like. I do think I'm going to take the border off and add some more rows to this so that it's like a huge blanket to cover my bed. But I just used the exact same pattern, but I turned it more into a rectangle than into a square and changed up the color palette. And it's crazy how different the color palettes can change the vibe of the whole blanket. Like I feel like that first one looks really mid-century modern. This one goes way more kind of like funky Scandinavian vibes in my opinion. And I really love the way that this one worked out, and it was all with yarn that I had left over from other projects, so it was a great way to use a bunch of scraps as well. And I do think I have a blanket kick now, and I want to make a whole bunch of other blankets. I also think that this would be cute turned into a cardigan, like using these squares in more of like, you know, the Harry Styles cardigan kind of look, but using these kind of solid squares and round squares to put something together that's kind of funky. So keep your eyes out for that. Maybe I'll put something together. But yeah, I was really pleased with how this came out, and I filmed the process of making this blanket as well, and I will link that if you want to check it out. But that is everything that I've made over the past 3 months, the final months of 2024. It's been such an incredible year. I'm thinking back to the first video that I filmed and put out this year, and I had like 20 subscribers and was just kind of like shouting into the ether, and now there's like quite a few of you that watch these videos, which is so nice. And I can see like certain people that comment on everything and watch all the videos, and just the support and the kind words that I get every single time I put one of these out really makes it feel worth it. And it's so fun to share my crochet with a community of other people that also crochet and enjoy fiber arts and actually want to talk about it and discuss it. I think I'm missing that community in my real life, so having it online means so much to me. So thank you for following along this year. I'm really excited about some makes for next year, what will happen on YouTube next year, all of those things. So thank you again for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.